Hello everyone. I am Professor S.R. Patil, Department of Information Science and Engineering, DLD ACET, Vijaypura. Today I am going to teach functions concept in C programming. Functions concept plays very important role in C programming. Functions can also be called subprograms. As we know, every C program permits the programmer to make use of only one main function to solve a problem. So we'll see the introduction of functions today. First one is built-in functions. So what do you mean by built-in function? Hence, as I told you, like every C programmer permits the programmer to make use of only one main function to solve a problem. Hence, it is very difficult for the programmer to solve a large and complex problem by using a single main function with only built-in functions. So that is why we go with the functions concept. Okay, here the programmers need to write to their own functions. Here what the programmer does, he is going to write the own functions. As I told you, functions can also be called subprograms. Okay, to do a specific divided task. These subprograms written by programmers are called subprograms, or it is also called user-defined function. So why user-defined function? Because user-written functions are there. Okay, user is going to write the function based on his requirement. Okay, that is why it is also called as a user-defined function, or we can also call it as a modules. Okay, the one more concept, that is the programming approach. So what do you mean by programming approach? Programming approach in which the given large and complex problem will be divided into many subprograms and are called by main function to do a specific task is called modular programming approach, or simply we call it as a programming approach. Okay, so this is a brief introduction about functions. So in uh, in the next slide we can see what is the definition of the function and what are the advantages of the function. So first we'll see the definition. So definition of the function, that is, a function can be defined as subprogram that also contains group of statements to do a specific task. Okay, so what do you mean by function? Function is a group of, it is defined as a subprogram that also contains a group of statements to do a specific task. So what are the tasks which you are going to see, which you are going to do, that we can see later. So before that we can see the advantages of a functions. Okay, so these are the some of the advantages which I have listed here. So the first advantage is that reduction in the size of the main function. So how we can say that reduction in the size of the main means? So in the main function, we used to write many number of lines, or you can say set of instructions. Okay, if you don't make use of functions, the line of the program code will be like, it can be reached more than 100 also. Okay, so if you make use of the function concept, okay, we're just calling the function in the main. Okay, so I'll tell you later, okay, what is a calling function and called function. As of now, you just try to understand that if you don't use the function concept, okay, the size of the main will be more. Understood? If you make use of the function concept, then there is a reduction in the size of the main function. With an example, we can see how it reduces. Okay, then reusability of the written functions. Reusability means once you write the function, the same function can be called more than one time. Suppose like there is a sum function is there. Okay, sum means what? Summation of the two numbers. Okay, so when you take that, when you write that sum function, okay, it is not only applicable for only one time. Okay, you can make use of many times. That is what we call it as a reusability. Next is program maintenance, testing and debugging is easier. Okay, so this we can see later, maintenance, testing and debugging, how it is easier. Okay, then function can be shared among many C files. So you have gone through in the previous class, that is the C program that is machine independent. It means that once you write the program, okay, in one computer, the same program can be executed in another computer as well. So similarly, here the functions can be shared among many C files. Then fifth advantage is that programmers can create their own functions library like header files. Okay, so based on the programmer requirement, he can create their own functions and he perform a task. Then the last advantage, that is modular programming approach. So as I told you, modular programming approach means the complex problems, okay, to reduce the complex problem, we make use of the function concept so that the complex problem will be reduced and we can execute the programs. Understood? So we have gone through what is the definition of the function and what are the advantages of the function. Then there are mainly two types of functions are there. One is built-in functions, another one is user-defined function. So what do you mean by built-in function? The functions designed and developed by C developers. Remember this. So these are the functions which are designed and developed by whom? C developers, are called built-in function, or it can also be called predefined function. Okay, the example for the built-in functions or predefined functions are scanf, printf, getch, power, this is used for the power, square root, malloc, string length, string copy. Okay, so these are the function are what? Predefined, or we can also call it as a built-in function. Remember, built-in functions are designed and developed by whom? C developers. Okay, fine. User defined functions, the name itself will tell. Okay, so the functions written by whom? Programmer. Remember this, the functions are written by programmer, whereas built-in functions are designed and developed by C developers. Okay, there is a difference between developer and a programmer. So end user, he writes the program, okay, those we call it as a programmer. Okay, programmer are called user defined functions. The example for the user-defined functions are is prime, factorial, that is fact, string copy. Listen here, string copy we have used here also. Okay, we just check it out the spelling, strcpy. So this is a string manipulating function or a string handling function. This is predefined, but string copy here we are used. So this is copying two strings, but this is a user-defined function. Okay, sort, this is used for the sorting the function. It can be a like selection sort, merge sort, many are there. Okay, sorting in ascending order, sorting in descending order. Okay, so those programs we can see later. So these are the function. And sum, okay, sum of the two number, summation of a two number can be like executed by calling this sum function. So these all are what? User defined function. Okay, hope you can understand. There are two types of function, built-in function and user defined function, and example for the same. Okay, so move on to the next slide. Elements of user defined function. This is important concept. Elements of user defined function. There are three main elements are there. Function declaration, or we can also call it as a function prototype. Second one is function call, and third one is function definition. Okay, so we'll see one by one how each of the element that works. Okay, so the first one is what? Function declaration, and it can also be called it as a function prototype. So what do you mean by function declaration? So we have seen the declaring the variable, declaring the array and all. Okay, so declaration with respect to function concept. So how we can declare that? The function must be declared in the global declaration part of the C program before the main function. Okay, so this is similar as a, like we have gone through the declaration part with respect to array and all. The function must be declared in the global declaration. Global declaration means what? Before the main function. Okay, so global declaration part of the C program, that is before the main function. Okay, we can see the syntax. The syntax for function declaration is return type, function name, argument list. Okay, so here return type, it can be the data type of return value like integer, floating point, character, double, etc. By default, the return type will be what? It is integer. Okay, the next is function name. Function name is, it is a valid identifier. You can give any function name with respect, it makes some sense. Okay, if you're adding two number, you add our summation. Understood? If you are going to find the factorial of number, then give fact. Okay, then next, the third one is what? Argument list. Argument list is nothing but what? Number of inputs or a parameters passing to the function. That is what we call it as a argument list. So this is a syntax for the function declaration. So once we see the example, you'll get an idea how this syntax works. Okay, just look at this. There are how many examples are there? 3 are there. Okay, we can see the first one, int sum. Okay, int sum, int is what? Return type. Sum is what? Function name. And what is this int x, int y? Argument list. Okay, so here what we are going to do? We are going to do to find the sum or addition of the two number. Here two numbers are nothing but x and y. So we are going to find the summation of the two number by using the function name sum. Understood? Okay. Then second example, that is float area float x. Okay. So here float is a return type, area is a function name, float x is an argument list. We are going to pass only one argument list, that is to find the area of the circle. Okay, then third example, that is prime. So to check is prime, I required one variable or a one number. That is fine. Okay, so that is why I'm passing only one argument to this is prime function. So here int is a return type, is prime is what? That is a function name, int x is an argument. So this function, that is for to check of a prime number. Okay, suppose if I give the example x value is equal to what? 7. So is 7 prime number or not? Yes or no? Okay, to check that, yes, 7 is a prime number. Why? Because why it is a prime number? The number which is divisible by 1 and itself, that number is called it as a prime number, isn't it? Okay, we have seen the programming example for prime number in the previous class. Okay, so these are what? Example for the functions. Okay, then next, the second element of function is, that is function call. Okay, the first one we have seen that function prototype or a function declaration. Then second one is what? Function call. Okay, so what do you mean by function call? Here the user defined function is called by the main function to do specific task by passing the number of inputs. Okay, I'll repeat once again. User defined function is called by whom? Main function, to do a specific task by passing the number of inputs. Number of inputs is nothing but like argument list. Okay, so here the example, just check with the example. So before we see the example, we can, okay, we'll see the example now. Void main, this is a main function. Okay, within this, remember function call always be inside the main function. Okay, so answer 1, this is a like variable, temporary variable. Square is a function. What is this? Square is a function name. N is what? N is a argument list. Okay, so how many value which you are going to like pass this? Suppose the n value is 2. Okay, so what is the square of the 2? 2 will be 4, isn't it? So this is a function call. Then second variable, that is cube. Okay, second variable answer 2 and the function name is cube. If I pass the n value 2, what is the cube? 2 raised to 3, that is how much? 8. Okay, so here function, I'm talking about the function call. The function call is the function name cube and function name square, which I have written inside the main function. Okay, that is void main function. So this is how the function call works. So what happens when you call this function, the control will automatically go to this particular square function. When you call this cube function, the control will automatically go to Q function. Okay, so Q function, that is again a subprogram. There we are going to write the logic of the program. Okay, that we can see later. So you have understood here what is function call. Next, third element, that is what? Function definition. Okay, function definition. So here, this is the subprogram which can be written before or after the main function. Remember this. This is what? Subprogram which can be written before the main function or after the main function, not within the main function. Within the main function, only function call. Okay, so before and after the main function, that is function definition. It also contains the group of statements to do specific task. Okay, so here the example for the function definition is int sum int x comma int y. Okay, so here the function definition, here sum is there. Okay, so sum, when we call that function, like here we have the square and cube. Similarly, imagine that sum is there. When you call the sum here, what happens? It will come to the function definition. In the function definition, okay, so this is the syntax. First we'll see the syntax. Okay, this is the syntax: return type, function name, and argument list. Okay, so here return type is what? Integer. Okay, so function name is what? Sum. Argument list is what? Int x comma int y. Okay, so here finally we are going to return the value, that is x plus y. So this is what? Return value. Okay, understood? This is a syntax and that is a example. It's very simple. For summation of two numbers, first we are going to write the return type, name of the function, and argument list. Here inside we are going to write the logic of the program, x plus y. Okay, so that is addition of two numbers we need to perform. That is why we have written the x plus y in the previous case. Okay, here written x plus y. This is what? Function definition. So we'll see one simple example, programming example, that is to find sum of two numbers by using the function. Okay, listen. So here this is a header file, and what is this? This is what? Function prototype. Okay, this is function prototype. Function prototype, it is like defined before the main function, or before the main function. We can call it as a global declaration. Okay, so here execution of the main function, it start from the main. Okay, so int n1 n2 answer. I have declared three variable here. So I'm performing which operation? Sum operation. Of course I require two numbers or two variable. The two variables are what? N1 and n2. The result I'm going to store it in an answer variable. That is why I have taken answer as well. Okay, clear screen. Then printf, enter any two numbers. I need to enter two numbers from the keyboard. So this scanf statement, that is for what? Reading the two numbers. Okay, so here answer, that is equal to, listen carefully, sum of n1 comma n2. What is this? This is a function call. Okay, there are three elements I have told you, right? So this is a function call, and this is a function prototype, and function definition I'll tell. Okay, all the three it covers. So function call, we have seen that function call always it should be within the main function. Okay, so answer is a variable. Okay, here sum of n1 comma n2. When we perform this operation, whatever the result will come, that result will be stored into the answer value. Okay, so when control comes here, what happens? Immediately the control will move to the what? Sum function. Okay, so before executing this printf, so when control comes here, int sum int x comma int y, this is function definition. Function definition can be written before the main function or after the main function. Okay, so what is the operation which you are going to perform here? Return x plus y. Okay, x plus y is nothing but what? Summation of the two numbers. Okay, imagine that the x value is 10, okay, and y value is 20. Okay, so summation of the two number will be 10 plus 20, that is 30. So 30 will be stored where? Here, answer. Okay, so when we call this function, it will perform the operation, it will come back and it will store the value 30 in the answer. Finally, addition is answer. It is going to print the 30 as a summation of two numbers. So here just check it out the output. Here we have taken the two numbers, enter any two numbers, x value is 7 and y value is 3, isn't it? Okay, so here when you perform the sum operation, so it will perform return x plus y, adding both the number x and y, that is 7 plus 3, the result will be 10. Okay, 10 I'm going to display. Understood this? So in this programming example, I have covered all the three elements: function prototype, function call, then function definition. Understood? Fine. Move on to the one more example, a simple example. Here, to find square and cube of a number by using the function. Okay, you know what do you mean by square and what do you mean by cube? Okay, so here wide mean, then of course I required at least one number. Okay, suppose to check the square of the number 2 or to check the cube of the number 2. Okay, so I required one variable. Answer 1 and answer 2 are the variable which I am going to store the square value in one of the variable and cube value in one of the variable, isn't it? Okay, so enter a number. So I need to enter a number. Okay, so where this is for reading the number. Okay, suppose I have entered the number 2. Fine. Next I need to perform the operation, that is answer 1. This variable contains the like answer of square of n. Okay, square of n is nothing but I'm going to pass only one argument here. N value is equal to 1. Okay, any one number. Okay, square is what? Function name. Okay, so here function call, I'm calling the function. Similarly, answer to variable which contains the answer after performing the cube operation. In here I'm going to pass only one argument. Cube is a function name. Okay, so these two are what? Function call. Okay, so immediately after these two, this printf will not execute. Remember this. Okay, so what it does, when you call this function, control automatically go to the square function. Okay, here this is a square function, so this is a function definition. So I have taken int x only one value. Why? Because I'm passing only one argument over there. That is why I have taken int x, isn't it? Don't get confused. I have not taken int x comma int y. Why? Because in the previous case I have taken only argument, that is n. Okay, n is nothing but only one value, isn't it? Okay, so int square int x, I'm performing the operation. What is this? Return x into x. X into x is nothing but what? 2 into 2. Okay, 2 into 2, that is nothing but 4. That is a value which you are going to return. Okay, so just check it out the output, enter a number. You have entered the value 2. Okay, square is how much? 2 into 2, that is 4. Okay, so similarly cube operation. So cube operation, it contains only one argument. Okay, it return x into x into x. This is nothing but x cube. Okay, so the x value is 2. 2 into 2 into 2, how much? 2 into 2, 4. 4 into 2, 8. Okay, so the cube is 8. So after performing these two operations, the control will come back here. Okay, and it will assign the value, that is square of the number 2, that is how much? 4 here and 8 here. Finally, I'm going to print the square is how much? Answer 1 contains the 4. Cube is how much? 8. Answer 2 contains 8. So finally we have got the result. So this is the output for the program. Understood? Okay. Move on to next, that is actual and formal parameter. Okay, so this is important concept, actual and formal parameters. On this you can expect one question. So what is actual parameter and what is formal parameter? Explain with an example. Okay, the inputs whichever we pass to function to do specific task are called parameters or arguments. So argument list we have seen in the previous syntax, one of the syntax. So it means that the inputs, like whichever we pass to functions to do a specific task, it depends upon the application, it depends upon the task. If I would like to find the square of the number, I required only one argument, isn't it? If I would like to find the factorial also, I required one number. Okay, if suppose I need to find the summation of the two number, of course I require two number. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, so that is how we are going to pass the argument or a parameter. there are mainly two parameters are there. One is actual parameter, then another one is formal parameter. Okay, so we'll see what is actual parameters. Actual parameters, the parameters passed during the function call in the main function are called actual parameter. Understood? The parameters passed during the function call in the main function are called actual parameter. These actual input data passed to a user defined function to do specific task. So to do a specific task, what we are going to do? We are going to pass the input data. Without input data, we cannot able to perform the task. Okay. The contents of actual parameters will be copied to formal parameters of a function. Remember this, the content of actual parameters will be copied to formal parameters of a function. Okay, we'll see one example. You'll get an idea how we are going to copy the actual parameter into the formal parameter. Okay, so we can see formal parameters also. What do you mean by formal parameters? The parameters used in the function header of function definition or function prototype are called formal parameter. Okay, so the parameter which we are going to use within the main function, that is actual parameter. The parameter which we are going to use the function definition are called formal parameter. Okay, so these parameters receive input data for processing from the actual parameters from the calling function. Okay, these parameters, what it does, which receives the input data for processing from the actual parameters from the calling function. The changes made, this is very important, remember this, the changes made to formal parameters do not affect the content of actual parameter. Okay, the changes made to formal parameters do not affect the content of actual parameter. So how it does not affect, that we can see here. This is an example. Okay, so in this example I have explained the actual parameter as well as formal parameter. Okay, here example for actual parameter as well as the formal parameter, that is, this is a header file has include stdio.h. Okay, so here y test int x comma int y. Okay, what is this? This is a function prototype. Okay, so here we are going to declare a function prototype. Before that, we are going to use within the main function. Remember this. Okay, so this is a main function. Execution of the main function always start from the main. Int x is equal to 7, y is equal to 3. Okay, so I have taken two variable x and y. So value of x is 7 and value of y is 3. Okay, clear screen. So here, before calling function, what are the value of the actual parameter? Okay, so we are going to print here x value. What is the x value? 7. Okay, so what is the y value? 3. Okay, just look at the output here. Before calling function, actual parameter value will be x is equal to 7 and y is equal to 3. Understood till here? It's very simple. Here I have taken two variable, x value is equal to 7 and y value is equal to 3. Okay, so before calling the function, actual parameter value will be x is equal to 7 and y is equal to 3. Okay, next. Here I'm calling the function. What is the name of the function? Name of the function is test. Okay, test of x comma y. So here x and y are the argument. Test is the name of the function. Here x and y are called it as an actual parameter. Why it is actual parameter? Because this is a function call. So whatever the argument which I'm going to use within the function call, those parameters are called it as an actual parameter. Remember this. Okay, so this is a function call. So when I call this function, okay, the next statement is printf. Printf, it is not going to execute. What it is going to perform? It is going to execute the test function. Okay, so test function. So sorry. Fine. So here we'll be having, sorry for the interruption. So I was talking about this test function. Okay, immediately control will go to the test function. Okay, so this is a continuation part of the previous program. Y test, what is this here? Y test is a function. Okay, so I am passing these two argument. Okay, so these two argument are nothing but, or a parameter are nothing but what? Formal parameter. X and Y are formal parameter here, because I'm going to write the function, this function Y test function. So this function contains the parameter. These parameter are called as a formal parameter. So I'm going to perform the operation here, x plus plus and y plus plus. Okay, remember, so what is the value of x? X value, it was 7, y value is 3. Okay, so after performing the increment operation, what might be the value of x? 8, because 7 is incremented by 1, that is 8. So what is the value of y? Y, it was 3, now the y value becomes 4, isn't it? So inside the function, the formal parameter value will be, so x value what? 8, y value is 4. Okay, so here inside the function, the formal parameters, value of x is 8 and value of y is 4. Okay, understood this? So this is when I call the function, when it perform the operation, the value of x is 8 and value of y is equal to 4. Listen, after this function, so here after calling function actual parameter, so this value of x and y changed in the formal parameter. Okay, so formal parameter, this increment operation is going to takes place. That is why the formal parameter value has been changed from 7 to 8 and 3 to 4. Okay, so after calling function actual parameter, the value of x, that is remains 7, and value of y, that is remains 3, because inside the main function I'm not going to do any operation, any increment operation. Okay, so that is why after the calling function actual parameter value will be, that is x is equal to 7 and y is equal to 3. Okay, so what you got to know from this program? Okay, so from this here, the changes made to formal parameters do not affect the content of actual parameter. Okay, that what changes we have made to the formal parameter? We have done the increment operation. Okay, so does it affect on the actual parameter? No. Okay, how we can say that it doesn't affect? Because the value remains same, that is x is equal to 7 and y is equal to 3. Okay, so that is what I would like to convey this. Okay, so this is simple program. So with this, in today's class, I have completed function classification, function definition, then types of the function and types of the parameter, actual and formal parameter. And in today's class, you can expect a question, that is define function and explain a declaration of the function with an example, and actual difference between actual and formal parameter with an example. Okay, thank you so much.